we are Zimbabwean citizens. Zimbabwe is a small country, only 30 million people, so we know each other very well. So we don't want to behave as if we are enemies. We are all Zimbabweans, first and foremost. And because of that reason, that's why I could not refuse when you invite me to this meeting. Because after what we are doing is for people to utilize, not for me, but for everyone in the Zimbabwe. So let me start by giving you my slides. The first one is the current account of the balance of payments, a deficit, meaning that we are consuming more than what we are producing. This one's a fact, right? We are consuming more than what we are producing. As a result, there's great need to enhance production. But if we do produce goods and services, it means we minimize our imports. It means that we can export more. You have heard many times government saying that we are spending 82% on wages from the money that's been collected, which means we are just paying salaries and very little money for developmental purposes, for operations and for capital expenditure. That's why there is minimum capital expenditure in the country. So when there's no capital accumulation in a country, it means that the economy, you will only be able to employ as many people as possible. So it means there's the great need for fiscal consolidation. Again, these are facts. Therefore, the shortage of cash, which you will see as queues in banks, is therefore a symptom of these challenges. If you don't export more, it means you can't have more cash in the economy. If you are not producing, it means you need to have more imports, which are substituting production. So we've been earning other products, and therefore by so doing, we've been exporting cash, being jobs, out of the country, meaning that we are importing products from outside. We are substituting our domestic production by imports because we need to eat. So it is this context that was driving the way we are proceeding. Starting 1990 to 2015, end of the year, that graph there, that chart, that slide shows us the blue being the exports, the red or orange being the imports. If you notice what is happening there is that from 1990 to 2007, our exports have been almost the same as exports. I spoke about current account deficit, and sustainably so. Our trade balance. If you take exports minus imports, you get a trade balance. If you notice what happened from 2009 or 2008, and the peak period being 2011, that red, which is also on our flag, the red is dangerously high. It means that we are importing much more than we are exporting. That is very unhealthy. That disease needs a cure. That disease. One of the reasons why we have been that side is because after dollarization in 2009, the profiteering mode came from the Zim dollar era to the US dollar era. So you found banks by that time giving loans of 50%, 55% per annum. Business community increased their prices at a rate as if it was Zim dollars. Importing culture even increased further. So the difference between the blue and the red is being financed by money either from the diaspora, money from goods that have been smuggled, or loans, and therefore it's not sustainable. It needs to be dealt with by the citizens of Zimbabwe, whom you represent. How do you manage such a gap? By word of mouth? I don't think so. You need policy measures to address this phenomenon. And this phenomenon needs to be addressed. This is exactly the context in which we are coming from. That how do we increase exports in Zimbabwe?